Welcome back to the Scoop Sports Podcast. Today we got NFL draft prospect and former Texas Tech receiver, Erik Ezukanma. What's up, Erik? How you doing today?
Hey, I'm good, man. I appreciate you for having me on.
Well, I guess I'll start it off, bro. So when you were going through you're getting recruited. I went to high school with you, so shoot, you had offers from everywhere. But what made you kind of choose Texas Tech? You had offers like A&M, Ole Miss. There's some good players that go there. Texas Tech got them too. But I was just curious, what was your mindset going through that?
Man, going through the process of the recruiting process, it was basically like I was a 4-star recruit junior year. I thought I was, high shot, whatever, 4-star. And then went into my senior year and was kind of like, no, I'm not going to commit until, I get as many offers as I can. And, going into my senior year, didn't have the year I wanted to have. Stats went down, whatever. But, with that, schools get filled up, and that's the thing. Like, going through the process, I went on it, by myself. I didn't really have any, older mentor or anything coaching me through it. So with that, it was kind of like schools got filled up with their offers, and, Texas Tech, Utah, and SMU were really those schools that were still talking to me. And with that, Cliff Kingsbury's offense at the time, he was doing his thing.
Shit's electric.
Yeah, man. Basically, he, extended the offer. He called me. I was in class, and he calls me. He's like, "Yeah, man, we want you here," and it was a done deal, man.
Yeah, so we're all from the 817, the Metroplex area. I played football in there. I know the talent was crazy. So what was it like playing against some talent? I know y'all's district was pretty tough. Is there a player on there that that dude can ball? Like, there's a couple dudes from our area that can really ball like that.
Man, playing 6'8" football is like best of the best. And with that, that's why I felt like, I put my best foot forward, playing at my school, Timber Creek. And, with that, got a lot of exposure, being in the Metroplex area. And there was a lot of talent, man. We played like schools like Den Ryan, Geyer. Who else did we play? All the Keller schools, they were good.
San Angelo was pretty raw.
San Angelo was cold when we got to the playoffs. But one talent that was cold that I remember was Chris Miller. He was Denton's corner. And, going into the game, there was a lot of smack talk, back and forth. We were both undefeated. And, I had a really good game that game. But they came away with the dub. But, I remember him being really good and, being a tall corner. And he played both ways, too. A lot of those guys played both ways. Yeah. So to be able to do that, you got to be a dog.
So I'm going to get into some college stuff right now. So, obviously, the Big 12, good conference. Who do you think the toughest DB you ever had to play against was? Or toughest guy you've ever had it, matched up on? You could be a safety, it could be a corner. Who's out there that you're like, all right, this guy he can lock it down?
Man, I'm going to give it to my dog, Josh Thompson from UT. We went into UT, 3-0. They were like 2-1. So we had, all the confidence in the world. But we went in and we were getting smacked a little bit. And, Josh Thompson kept his composure most of the game. And with that, it was like, damn, this guy's good. Like Tyler Shuck, he, threw a ball from the other hash and, Josh breaks on it, pick 6. And I'm like, damn, that's never happened to me. So,
I know it was tough sticking with. It was a QB carousel. You went through 3 or 4 starting QBs throughout the entire year. Was that pretty tough to adjust? Just getting chemistry with those guys. I know you and Shuck started off the year hot, but after that, injury after injury kept on happening. So,
man, I feel like it's just been a part of my career and it's been a part of me. I've been able to kind of brag about it. In a way, kind of saying like, yeah, whoever's back there, I'm gonna do my thing regardless. But Tyler was a great prospect, coming out of the transfer portal. And, I helped him with that process coming to Tech. And, as soon as he got here, I was, with him the whole time, if that's, running routes for him or going on vacation, getting that chemistry right. But, injuries happen. And, with that, carousel happened. And, it's been happening since my redshirt freshman year when I first came in, or really my true freshman year when McLean Carter goes down with Alan Bowman going in against Houston or against Ole Miss. And, it's just been something that, has been a part of me. And with that, it kind of gives me that leverage on other guys going to the league.
People don't really realize with that QB carousel, you still put up unbelievable stats. And, it's not like you weren't getting 100 receptions. You know, you had like 40 to 50, and you still put up 700, 800 yards, and it's kind of like this guy gets 10 more catches, he's at 1,000 yards. You know, like it's just crazy to me. But you know, what do people not know about your skill set? Like I always say, I'm like 6'3", can go up and get it after the catch, can go do it. Like, what do people not know about your skill set?
Man, they don't know that I can be that, you know, number one receiver, getting about 15 targets a game. They don't know that yet. They've seen like glimpses of it, you know, during my career, but I just haven't been able to showcase that for a whole season just because, you know, quarterbacks or coaching changes, a new offense I got to learn, you know, new signals, you know, but with that, you know, I'm ready to showcase, you know, what I got at the next level.
I mean, I know you're talking about like the tech program you experienced throughout your 3 years, even though it was changing a lot. The future of the tech program, like you see with Coach McGuire, what do you see? You see a culture change? You see anything crazy coming? Like with just the offense, defense, everything, just the culture in general. Do you see anything different coming our way?
Yeah, man, 100%. I feel like McGuire's gonna, you know, bring in dogs. You know, with that, it's like he came in recruiting. You know, he's been recruiting ever since. And, you know, I go out to their practices, you know, see them practicing. They're practicing hard, man. Wide receivers looking good. Coach Jones, he actually recruited me out of high school, so I have complete trust in him that he's going to get them right. And, you know, all I got to say is if they play, you know, together, all three sides of the ball, man, you know, sky's the limit for them. And I know Coach McGuire's going to give them, you know, his all. And with that, you know, I've heard good feedback from, you know, some of my ex-teammates, you know, saying like, you know, it's a lot more loving, you know, they kind of like fuss at each other a lot more, like, you know, more of a family, you know, type of vibe, and you know, I'm happy for them.
Was that what the culture was like lacking a little bit in the past? Just like that, like hungry, like kind of just like everyone's on their ass trying to get everyone better. Is that kind of what was missing a little bit?
Yeah, it was kind of like a job, you know, stiffness. Everybody was stiff in the building, like, you know, it was like kind of like, you know, if we lose, we're gonna get fired, and if we get fired, then you know, the whole program is gonna change again. So, you know, it was a lot of stiffness, and you know, every week was like, we gotta win. And I know like going into this next season, they're gonna be feeling the same way. But you know, McGuire, he got a whole new contract. He got 3 years to build it, and you know, the first year definitely gonna be like that stepping stone. So I know they're gonna get it right.
So I got a little personal question for you. So, you know, you grew up with a lot of brothers and sisters. Your mom carried the load, you know, like growing up, like I'd hang out with you all the time.
Sure.
So you got a little motivation from that. Does that help you, like, when you wake up and you're like, shit, I don't want to go work out today, but you kind of think back, like, what she did for you, you know, like, I remember that for you. And it was crazy because you'd show up to practice, not even stretch, 5 touchdowns in the first 2 minutes. I'm like, they're like, hey, can you tackle him? We're like, no,
This
we can't.
This man had the craziest huddle I've ever seen in my life. No cap. I'm telling you, there's like a touch. If you haven't watched it, y'all need to go back and watch it.
The flower now, he spin move, hurdles him.
It's a touchdown every single clip for like at least 5 minutes.
But I'll let you answer that question.
Yeah, my mom is everything to me, man. I watched her grind my whole life, and with that, like, she's a registered nurse. You know, she works long nights. You know, 5 to 7 a.m., go back to sleep, take a nap till about 4, get up, go right back to work. And it was like, man, watching that since I was a kid, and she's still doing it today. And it's like, man, you know, I have no excuse not to go get it every day.
Yeah, that's your motivation right there.
For sure.
Yeah.
If you were to model your game or say your games after somebody, who do you think you play like? It can be in the league, it can be in college still, it can be a former pro. Like, who do you think? Because people have said Debo. He says A.J. Brown.
I'm seeing A.J. Brown, little D-Hop maybe.
See, yeah, I think what people don't see is you're after the catch. And the reason I say that is I think you're kind of like Jamar, kind of in the way. Like, after you get the ball, he can go 50, he can go score.
Yeah.
And I don't think people see that all the time.
Man, I love the way Jamar plays, but, you know, I watch a lot of Justin Jefferson. You know, you know what I'm saying? Debo Samuel, obviously the way he runs the ball, he runs fearless, you know, high-stepping everybody. Yeah. Keenan Allen, I love to role play my game after him and the way he runs routes. But you know, back in the day it was Odell Beckham for sure when he had the blonde tips at New York Giants. But definitely Justin Jefferson for sure for me.
From just like going into the league, taking this process, from coaches, what are you hearing the most of, like, what's the most essential part of the game going up? Is it route running? Is it knowing the concepts? Is it speed? Is it strength? Like, what is it that you keep on hearing that's like the most vital part of knowing how to become an efficient receiver at the next level?
Well, yeah, all coaches ask me like, what's your biggest weakness? What do you think your biggest weakness is? And I'm like, route running for sure. And they're not really worried about that because everybody can polish up their routes and get better at that. But with what to answer your question is basically learning the concepts, defenses, knowing what the defense is going to do, being a smart football player when it comes to being on the field because you can only go out there and just ball for so long before they just stop letting you score and stop you while you trying to make plays. But if you know what the defense is doing before they do it, you're ahead of the game.
Yeah, having that ability to adapt.
For sure. And I'm on interviews with some scouts and stuff, and all I do is they quiz me on material, knowing what I'm doing, what defense are they running, watching film. So that's really the vital part of it.
Do you think, I know at Tech you didn't get to do it, but I know the NFL you usually have smaller guys, special teams guys, return kicks and punts, but let's say it came to it and, you're the guy on the team, are you going to be like, hey, I'm cool with going back there, even though, special teams is a dangerous game, but would you be cool with returning kicks and punts again?
Nah, for real. I want to return some kickoff returns for sure. The punts, I'm about to work on that a little bit because that's a mental game, man. You got to be able to be.
You got to track that ball.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that when they're watching, how do you muff that? Nah, that ball is moving in all types of directions.
And people are running full speed at your throat.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying? So, with that, I'd probably start off like kickoff return and then, rotate to punt, when I get my comfortability up. You know what I'm saying?
So another question draft-wise, you've obviously, you talked to your agent, you talked to these people, you visited, the Raiders, Chiefs, Cowboys, and what's kind of your draft where do they think people think you're going? You can also talk about money, but draft wise, where are people projecting you and what's it kind of looking like?
Me and my agent talk often, every day, and he's basically saying my floor is probably the 4th round, late second to lock third maybe. So hopefully I can slip into that second round, that late second round, but that lock third is a sweet spot for sure.
Speaking of that draft process, can you just kind of walk me through? You don't have to give me an in-depth explanation, but so you got the combine, you go into interviews, what's that like? Then what? And then you go into draft night. What's that all been like for you?
Man, surreal. It's crazy because as soon as I declared, kind of had some downtime, chilling, just stretching, keeping my legs loose, and then start training at Exos in Frisco, and I'm training there for 2 months till the combine. Get to the combine. This is the first time I'm able to talk to anybody, and sitting down in a room with Andy Reid, and
It's surreal, right?
Yeah,
I just saw you on TV.
And we're watching film, and it's man, Andy Reid sitting right there smiling at me, talking to me, and it's crazy. But then fast forward, after the combine, you perform, they let you go home, and after that, I didn't run my 40 at the combine, so just started working for that, and I went to Florida, Bommarito, to work on my 40, just to get a second opinion on my 40 star and how I'm running. And then pro days coming up, run a 4.53 at pro day, do everything I needed to do.
See, my thing with the 40s is I feel like that little 0.3, you can cut that and you could go run a 4.49, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like people don't understand that little point. I feel like that's just a little hop step right there and you can change it. But
Literally.
And that leads me into my next question. So you're seeing a lot of players now that when they go into the combine, especially with skill position receivers and stuff like that, you're seeing some of them opt out of the 40, opt out of the bench press. Is there a reason for that, or is that just staying healthy? What's up with that?
It's just trying to put your best foot forward with everything you do. You never want to have a bad day, because if you have a bad day, they label you as whatever they want to label you as. So basically, I didn't run my 40 because I was at Exos and I was running well, but I didn't feel like I was going to put my best foot forward at the combine. And, with the whole bench press, no one was doing it because the bench press was before the 40, which, if you pop out 20,
you're dead.
you're sore for the rest of the day. And we had a 40 later that day. So it's a lot of guys opt out of that. And, you always want to put your best foot forward with everything you do.
Who do you think the coolest guy was that you met at the combine? Somebody you never met before, and you're like, oh, this dude's fucking cool.
Andy Reid's pretty cool.
Player-wise, though. Player-wise.
Drake London was pretty dope. You
USC
see,
kid?
Yeah, you see guys, top prospect, first round picks, and they're just kind of standoffish, like they too cool. But nah, Drake London was in the mix, chilling, talking to everybody, like he's just a cool dude. And they was asking what rate, like they were interviewing him on Madden. Like I went and got my body scanned in Madden.
Oh yeah.
And then they're bringing him aside and like interviewing him, so they can post it on social media. And we just start chatting it, and it was cool.
Yeah. So I mean, like obviously, I think you're one of the diamond in the roughs of the draft. Do you know of any other guys that you might think that they might fall a little bit, but those guys are gonna make an immediate impact on any NFL teams?
Yeah, Calvin Austin. I trained with him at Exos. He was a walk-on at Memphis. Had 1,200 yards.
He's the kid who ran the 4.3, right?
Yeah. He ran fast, but shorter guy. They probably put him on special teams and stuff like that. So, he's not like the 6'3" threat or whatever. But I know he's a dog. And with that, it's like he's gonna make an impact on whatever team he's on.
So as far as like the interview process, when you're visiting these teams, is like it's kind of surreal for you, I bet. Like, do you have to like when you're walking in there? Is it like I'm a professional, I got to walk in, I got to carry myself like this? Like, what's it kind of like going through that process?
For sure, man. It's a business trip. It's an interview, like biggest interview of your life at this point. Like everything at this point going into this has been an interview, but this is the biggest one. Like they're seeing you in person. They want to get to know you. They want to talk to you, see how you respond to things, stuff like that. And, I went in there with, nice dress clothes on, and, most guys just go in there with casual on, but I wanted to like make a statement like, hey, I'm about my business. And with that, I felt like, the Raiders went well. We did like a full-on walkthrough, like they quizzed me. We learned the whole like first install, and then they quizzed me on it. And then we went out and did a walkthrough right after, because Coach McDaniels and his staff was from the Patriots with Bill Belichick, so they're about their business, bro. And with that, it was a business trip. And then we went. They flew me to KC the next day, and I go into KC, and it's like completely different. Like,
yeah, you get to see like different organizations and how they work.
Yeah, and with that, I don't know, just it was a completely different vibe, and both visits went well, and hopefully one of them picked me up.
So whenever you're running those like walkthroughs, like you say, are you running with guys on the active roster? Like is Derek Carr out there slinging the rock to you, or it's just going to be like trainers and stuff like that?
No, it was just guys on the visit with me.
Okay.
We all learned the playbook at the same time, and then after that, they kind of just put us through a walkthrough and saw how fast we learned and how football savvy and smart we are.
Yeah, because they're probably like evaluating you at every right step you take.
Yeah,
like,
everything.
Yeah.
Got the notepads and everything.
So like going out, you've played obviously a lot of football. Who talks the most trash that you've played against, and like who are you looking forward to playing against in the NFL?
Who's talked the most trash in college?
Yeah.
I really don't even listen to all, like none of that actually.
Really?
Like I talk smack. I feel like Baylor was talking smack to me 2020, and I remember that because I got hit across the middle, and then like I dropped the ball and they got up and they were all rah rah. But it was, it was whatever. I shrugged it off. But one corner that I want to go against is definitely like Jalen Ramsey, the best of the best. Because if I have a good game against him, I put my name on the map regardless. So
you got to go battle the 817, you versus Jeffrey Okudah.
Oh yeah, for sure. The Lions.
Yeah, he's solid too.
Yeah.
He's one of the most solid to come out of our area.
So,
but all right, so what's your plans for draft night? Where are you going to be at? You got any big plans lined up?
Yeah, man. Agent rented me out an Airbnb. Gonna have some friends and family over, cater it. I'm probably a day 2 guy. So Friday, April 29th. Yeah. So with that, I'm just gonna wait for my name to be called, get that phone call, gonna go jump in the pool right after.
So the draft is in like 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks right now. So when you after you get drafted, right? How quick until obviously training camp starts? So what, like July, right? So you get like a month off, or are you booking it right after draft night?
Nah, the rookies get it bad, man. They fly you right out to rookie minicamp, and they want to see what you've been doing for the last month after the combine. So basically, I got the rundown with the Chiefs and the Raiders. And they let you know, as soon as if we draft you, be in shape, be in football shape. Like no more 40, no more none of that. Like be in shape.
Cool, man. One last thing I'm gonna ask, just like that kind of pertains the changing of college football in general. So I know you got your Easy E brand right there.
Sure.
If y'all haven't copped it, y'all go to, what's the website you gotta go to?
It's actually not up right now because I'm waiting for me to get drafted, and then I'll like drop like the colorways of my new team.
Some new stuff.
But keep the logo though, right?
But keep the
A
logo.
logo,
That
a logo.
was
That's
that was tough.
yeah, that's tough.
I appreciate that.
So I mean, but anyways, like kind of segueing off of that, with NIL deals, do you see these powerhouses that are just going to take off with all the money and they're going to be better? Or do you think it's better for smaller schools to be able to try and like lure recruits in other ways?
Yeah, nah, for real. Like I feel like donors really have all the power at these universities, and we didn't really have the donors love, while I was here because they didn't really like Coach Wells that much, but I know they love McGuire a lot. So, I feel like I'm hearing, some of my ex-teammates talking about these checks that they're gonna get in the next couple months or so, and they're fat.
Really?
Way fatter than what I was getting. So yeah.
Do you have any NIL deals currently, or any like stuff like that?
Nah. I stopped doing the NIL stuff after I declared, but I've been doing this commercial for the Ruckus Furniture Store.
Gotcha.
I'm just helping them out, try to get some customers in there. So
What number are you rocking? You gotta choose.
Number 3.
Number
three?
three?
Yeah.
That's probably going to be taken though.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Why, no
Actually,
13?
they just changed. No, I gotta change 13.
I kind of.
Well, look, if 13's there, it depends. Whichever's there is the one I'm gonna wear for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on the roster, I wear 99, like
Yeah.
whatever coach
For
says.
sure.
But hey, man, we appreciate you coming out. For
appreciate
real.
Sir, I appreciate
Yeah.
y'all, bro.
This
Sure.
guy is going to be next up. I'm
Next
telling
up.
y'all, if y'all haven't seen Texas Tech football, this guy is really the real deal. So,
Appreciate that, brother.
yeah, appreciate it, Eric.
Yes,
Good
sir.
luck, man.
Thanks, man.